August 8, 1946. Wings of Peace. The United States Air Force conducted the first flight of the Convair B-36 Peacemaker, a strategic bomber that represented a critical advancement in American military aviation. Developed during the final years of World War II and flown for the first time a year after the war ended, the B-36 emerged as a central component of America's Cold War deterrence strategy. Its development, design, and deployment reflected shifting military doctrine, rapid technological progress, and the strategic imperatives of a nuclear age. The origins of the B-36 Peacemaker trace back to 1941, when the United States Army Air Forces anticipated the possibility of war with Germany, during which Britain might fall and U.S. bombers would need to operate from bases in North America. As a result, the U.S. War Department issued a requirement for an intercontinental bomber capable of reaching targets more than 5,000 miles away and returning without refueling. Consolidated Aircraft, later Convair, was awarded the contract in 1941. Although the aircraft's purpose evolved as World War II progressed, the urgency to complete the B-36 lessened with the Allied victory in Europe, delaying its first flight until after the war. The first prototype, designated XB-36, took off from Convair's Fort Worth plant on August 8, 1946. This initial flight demonstrated the aircraft's enormous size, featuring a wingspan of 230 feet, the largest ever for an American combat aircraft. Powered by 6 Pratt & Whitney R4360 piston engines mounted in a pusher configuration, the XB-36 was capable of flying at high altitudes beyond the reach of contemporary air defenses. Later versions incorporated 4 General Electric J-47 jet engines, making it a 10-engine bomber, a configuration unique in aviation history. The B-36 was designed to serve a singular strategic purpose: long-range nuclear bombing. With the Cold War intensifying in the late 1940s and the Soviet Union developing its own nuclear capability, the U.S. needed a platform that could deliver nuclear weapons across intercontinental distances without the support of foreign bases. The Peacemaker fulfilled this role by offering a combat range of over 10,000 miles and the capacity to carry 86,000 pounds of bombs, including the largest thermonuclear weapons of the era. In service from 1949 to 1959, the B-36 became a key element of the Strategic Air Command, the U.S. military's main nuclear strike force. It was the first bomber capable of reaching the Soviet Union from continental U.S. bases without aerial refueling. Though it never saw combat, the Peacemaker played a vital deterrent role in the early Cold War period. Its very existence signaled American readiness and strategic reach, thereby supporting U.S. policy of containment and deterrence. The introduction of the B-36 also marked a turning point in the history of U.S. military aviation. It was the first bomber designed specifically to carry nuclear weapons, reflecting a new doctrine in which strategic bombing took precedence over conventional tactics. The aircraft's size and technological complexity illustrated America's industrial capacity and the priority placed on air superiority in national defense policy. Furthermore, the transition from the B-29 Superfortress to the B-36 signaled the beginning of the jet age, as the Peacemaker eventually combined both piston and jet propulsion. Despite its strategic importance, the B-36 had limitations. Its massive size made it vulnerable to jet interceptors in the late 1950s, and it required extensive maintenance. These factors, combined with advances in aerial refueling and the emergence of faster jet-powered bombers like the B-47 and B-52, led to its retirement in 1959. Nevertheless, the aircraft's impact was lasting. It bridged the technological gap between World War II-era bombers and modern intercontinental strategic systems, while its service helped shape the development of U.S. air power doctrine for decades to follow. The first flight of the B-36 Peacemaker on August 8, 1946, was more than a technological milestone. It represented a strategic commitment to nuclear deterrence, an assertion of industrial might, and a reflection of emerging geopolitical realities. Though its operational life was brief, the aircraft's legacy endures in the evolution of American strategic bombing and Cold War policy. For enthusiasts of historical ephemera, visit history-collectors.com to find collectibles that might complement your collection. You can own a piece of history.